In fact, there's a funny story. The way I got the gig with him, there was a guy named Elliot Roberts.
His manager.
His manager at the time. Now, Elliot managed Neil Young and Joni Mitchell. Elliot passed away
just recently.
Last year.
Yeah, rest in peace.
But he managed them. And Elliot had managed me for a minute.
Okay.
In about 1980 or something. So I get a call one day at the Saturday Night Live office, and it's Elliot. And he says, hey, man, what are you doing tomorrow night? It was a Wednesday night. He said, what are you doing tomorrow night? I said, nothing, I'm around. He goes, can you get a bass player and a drummer and be at Montana Studios, which is up on, I don't know if it's still there, but it was up on 10th Avenue. He said, can you be at Montana at 10 o'clock?
10th and what?
Like 56th, maybe,
okay.
Something like that,
Up
upstairs.
There.
Isn't that Avatar?
Is it? It might have changed, but it was called Montana.
I see, Montana.
And it was kind of like a high-priced rehearsal place. Like if you couldn't afford SIR, you could go to you could pay more and go to Montana. You know,
right.
if you wanted to kind of up it, and very private.
Right.
You know, very cool place.
Yeah.
The Eagles would rehearse there and shit.
Right.
So
when ABBA rolled through town.
Hey, ABBA didn't need to rehearse. Come on.
That's true.
They just were.
They had it on lock.
They
You're
just
right.
were.
They just like a flower.
I heard they might play again.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
You know, do something. Benny and Bjorn and the rest of the gang. Anyway, so he says, can you be there at 10 o'clock with a bass player and a drummer? Bob is in town and he wants to play. And I'm like, well, yeah, I think I could get a couple guys for that, for Bob Dylan. So
10 p.m.?
Be there at 10 p.m. Okay. So,
I love that it starts at 10 p.m.
Yeah. So I show up with my guys. And T-Bone Wolk, who was my great friend who had played with me with Daryl Hall and John Oates and was also on the Saturday Night Live band, and Chris Parker, the drummer on the Saturday Night Live band. Great musicians, really nice guys. And we show up, 9:45, man. We are standing on the stage, tuned up, ready to go. You know.
Yeah.
And it was weird when we got there. We came up in the elevator, and there was nobody there.
That's
there wasn't
interesting.
even like a reception person at the
Why
desk.
is that? Because it
Why
was
is that?
normally closed?
Oh,
or?
no. Normally you'd come up and there'd be somebody at the desk and you'd tell them,
Yeah.
I'm here for what session, whatever
Especially
session it
for a
was.
rehearsal studio.
Yeah, you know, nobody there. And
Nobody
the place
there.
was pretty dark.
Okay.
But I knew the layout and I knew that we would be on the main good stage, you know. So I went down there and there was the gear and the stage was lit. But it was a big room and the whole back of the room was darkness.
It's like a movie.
It was like a movie.
It's like a movie.
Bob is in the
Noir.
shadows.
It's like, yeah, it's
You
like
know?
a
Watching
noir.
them
Like,
set up.
Very, very noir.
like,
So we get up on the stage and we check everything. We check the gear and everything's good and we're all tuned up.
right.
We're just kind of waiting and we're nervous, you know. It's Bob Dylan. you know.
Yeah.
And time goes by. Time gets to like 10:45.
Oh, man.
And then about maybe 5 of 11 out of the darkness in the back of the room.
Told you.
He's been there the whole time.
Probably been there the whole time
Told you.
with the hoodie
Right. Oh,
and
yeah.
the gloves
And the
with the
glasses.
fingers cut
Oh,
off.
man.
You know, and he comes up, and I said, hi, Bob, you know, GE. And he goes, yeah, hi. And he puts on a Stratocaster, and he starts, like, strumming an E chord. So we kind of kick in behind him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's about 5 feet up in front of us.
Right.
He's got a microphone and a little station up there, you know.
Uh-huh.
He's just bong, bong, dong, dong, get dong. We kick in, and we're dong, dong, don't get to go right along with him. And this goes on.
Just on E?
Just on E. No change, no nothing. And
Yeah.
he's not looking at us. He's not.
How long?
A while.
Like 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which can be, as you know.
No, that's an eternity to
That's a
drone on
long
an
time
E-chord
on an
with Bob
E-chord,
Dylan.
man.
After you
With anybody.
With anybody, but especially him, I gotta
No
imagine.
groove, no particular, nothing changed. It was just, okay, so finally he just stops.
Oh, that's so funny, dude.
And then he sort of did, I don't even remember what he did, but he did one of his songs, you know, in a very offhand kind of way, you know, sort of disinterested.
Lackluster.
Very not. And I thought, oh God, this is weird. Okay, but he wanted to play, so here we are.
Yeah.
Then after a couple of those, then he turns around and he walks over. Me and T-Bone are standing right next to each other. And he goes,
Yeah.
"Hey, do you guys know Pretty Peggy-O?" And me and T-Bone knew Pretty Peggy-O. So we both like twins. We go, sure. And he goes,
how do you know that song?
well, I know a lot of that traditional American stuff.
That's amazing.
I love those songs. Anyway, we go, sure. And he goes, you do? And he gets animated for the first time. You do. So he turns around, he starts doing Pretty Peggy-O. And we kick in, and we really did know it.
Right.
Okay, and then after that, he starts playing now, song after song, just one after another. And we're following him, and
It started to vibe.
he started vibing, and his energy really came way up, Okay, so at some point, he thanked us, and he disappeared into the back of the blackness in the room,
Back to the dark shadows.
and that was it. And we packed up and left, and
How long was it?
it was a few hours.
Like 3 hours?
Yeah, without stopping.
That's
I mean, like
hefty.
song after song after song after song, 40, 50 songs.
That's
Easy.
crazy.
Yeah. He knows more songs than I know. A lot of songs. I know probably a couple thousand songs that you would recognize. And I
Yeah.
would just sit here and play like Motown, R&B stuff,
Right.
hits from the World War I up to now, standards.
Yeah.
He knows way more.
Really?
The guy knows. Plus, he's read every book. I'm a reader.
Yeah.
He has read every book. We started talking about Moby Dick one day. He started quoting it.
Really?
Hey, that chapter about the ropes? There's a whole chapter in there about, seamen tie ropes, sailors. And he's quoted paragraphs from the rope chapter.
Damn.
So anyway-
That makes me feel like I need to try harder in life.
Right?
When you say that.
Oh, man.
Like, I need to try harder.
Well, he's obviously got a big brain.
Yeah.
He's got a serious intellect. He does.
Yeah, that's true.
So we left, and I remember in the cab going back to where T-Bone was parked, we were like, wow, that was so cool. We got to play with Bob Dylan, great. So then next day or 2 days later, I'm in the office, phone, it's Elliot Roberts again. And he goes, all right, you got the gig. First rehearsals in California on whatever. Wait, Elliot, what gig? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't I tell you that was the audition?
Yeah.
I mean, no, you didn't tell me.
But you didn't suspect it was some kind of audition process?
No, I really thought
You thought you were just jamming.
because that's classic Bob.
Yeah,
you
that's
just want to
true.
play.
That's true.
Get some guys. I want to play.
Right.
Fine.
That makes sense.
So we got the gig. So eventually, now Bob never told me this, but I got this from like Elliot.
Were you already doing Saturday Night Live?
Yes, we were in the middle of
so you were
Saturday Night
already
Live.
in
This is
there.
1988.
Oh, okay.
This is like the spring of '88.
All right.
And
And so wait, Bob didn't tell you this, but you heard something. Sorry, I cut you off.
yeah, Bob never confirmed this story to me, but what I heard was that he had done his two previous tours. One of them had been with the Grateful Dead backing him up, and one of them was Tom Petty and the
Petty's
Heartbreakers
band,
backing
yeah.
him up.
I've seen
So
that
he had-
show.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
So he had two well-established, big,
Huge
powerful
bands,
bands
yeah.
backing him up. Bands with real character and their own life.
That's
you know?
true. Yeah.
And he wanted to just cut down to a trio
Strip
of
it.
just some guys.
That makes sense.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It made sense. And he had been going around the country and had auditioned 3 or 4 trios. And at some point he would say, you guys know Pretty Peggy-O? And we were the only ones that did.
Pretty Peggy-O.
We were the ones that knew it.
That's
so
amazing.
Peggy got us the gig.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Who wrote Pretty Peggy-O?
Oh, man, that's traditional.
How does that
you know?
one go? Do you know?
As we march down, as we march down, as we march down to Venerio, where the captain fell in love with a girl like a dove. She's the prettiest girl that I ever seen, yo. Come marching, come running down the stairs, come running down the stairs, come running down the stairs, pretty Peggy, oh. Come running down the stairs, combing back your yellow hair. You're the prettiest girl that I ever seen, yo.
Senior.
Senior. Peggy-O, senior.
I can see why Bob likes that song.
Oh, yeah,
It
that's-
sounds like something he would have wrote.
Well, I do it like him. You know?
Yeah.
But it all worked out. But that was how it started, and it was
Yeah.
for me to get to play with him was just the an honor, just the
Right.
deepest. I always been lucky, because there's a million guitar players. There's lots
Yeah.
of guys that play real good, I've just been lucky, and I would fall into these different things.